know now so we can correct and coach the sales staff to make the changes that we need. When we get enough phone calls made, then as Emily already showed us, the act dashboard shows us real quickly how we're doing financially. This screen can be modified quite a bit and quite simply. On my own screen, for example, this barometer, how close we're getting to our goal, I actually have that 3 different times, filtered for different staff members. So I can see how much Cody has worked this month, how close we are to his goal, how much I've worked, how close we are to my goal, and then as a team as a whole. So you can really kind of drill down into that information and manage your sales pipeline effectively that way. Other things that we like to do in the marketing and e-marketing, Emily touched on this a little bit, but we do events like this. We do trade shows, we send postcards, do all sorts of different activities, trying to get more leads, more names in the door. And a lot of people will use a standard act report that shows you the number of people referred to you by a certain source. Great. I'm at 57 people at that trade show. I'd like to take it a little step further and look truly at the return on the investment. This graph shows dollar amount per referral source. Knowing that I met 57 people at a particular show is useful information. It's better than 10. But if I only got $37 out of those 50 people, and that trade show cost me 10 grand, I might skip that show next year. I want to look at who's really going to get the big fancy holiday basket this year, because they send the most dollar amount of referrals. So that's the kind of information, that's where I get excited, folks. Getting into this data and really digging it out. Too many people, I feel, put data into the database and never pull it back out. Never use this information they've been tracking 10, 15, 30 years about their business to understand their customers, to understand their marketing and their e-marketing a little bit better. And that's when we get into e-marketing. Tina is our expert e-marketing person. She's the graphics person. I'll be the first to admit. I'm data focused, and when it needs to be pretty, I turn to Tina. Tina loves to build e-marketing templates. A lot of you got our e-marketing templates inviting you to come to our event. Hopefully all of you received the email on Friday reminding you of the date and time. All that stuff that we sent out directly through ACT. And then I confess, yeah, we're spying on you. We know who opened it. We know who clicked through our website. And we know how many times they clicked through and whether or not they forwarded that email to somebody else. It's the worst part of my job is I give away all my secrets. So what I'm showing you here is actually the results of an email campaign that was sent. It was sent to 460 people. Of that, 128 people opened it. Industry standard is we consider it a good number. We get about 30% open rate on email. In the summer, it will be a little bit lower if people are on vacation. You get more out-of-office emails and that sort of thing. But if you're using a good list, we hope you get about a 30% open rate. And if you're not getting a 30% open rate, that's when we need to start talking. A lot of times we'll start to do different tests with email, and that gets into the marketing science of it. Take the exact same email, send it out, split the group in half. This group gets one subject line on the email. This group gets another subject line on the email. And see which one gets a higher open rate. That can really help you to fine-tune those email marketing messages. But then again, as I mentioned, you can see who clicked through. And if I wanted to, I could drill into that a little bit deeper and see who those people were and exactly which pages they clicked on. This example we're showing here, this company sells propane tanks, right? Propane tanks. And he's listing multiple tanks on this email. I cut it off to show you here. So here's this particular tank, and additional photos of this tank can be seen on our website. Click here. If you click here, we know about it on the results. Further down on this email was another tank and another description. If you want to know more about this one, click here. Now we know who clicked on this one versus who clicked on this one. And then as salespeople, we can pick up the phone and say, hey there, Joel, I noticed you clicked here and you were interested in this particular product. Can I help you? Tell you more about it. Or you can be a little more slick than that. Call up and say, you know, we've got a new tank on the market. Just want to take a minute of your time to talk about it. Funny you should say that. I was just looking at your email. I know. That's why I called you, and not the other 400 people that got that email. That's the kind of power that you can unleash by using e-marketing and the services that are built into your Act database. Once you get beyond the marketing, you've got the lead in the door, and now we're actually selling to them. Really, you can use Act to track your customer support and service. Some of us are in an industry where you open a ticket when you have something that you need from us. We can track those tickets in Act. We can track service requests. We've got a client that does a lot of service on mechanical items. And by tracking the information in Act, how often a certain model was breaking, he was able to go back to the manufacturer and say, I think you've got a defect in the product here, because I can show you the number of calls we've received based on model number. That's really powerful information that you can go back and track. We've got other clients that send out samples of their product. They're not terribly unlike World Tour t-shirts, actually. And they want to track information about the sample that they're going to send out. What color did I send out? What size did he want? All of that kind of information can be tracked right in Act as well. So if you aren't tracking information like that, and you'd like to really get into the details about your business, again, tracking this about that particular customer is interesting and important for that customer. But think about the data that you can look at on a widespread situation. In this particular case, they made a mistake in placing the order with the warehouse. And it ended up not with 20 cases of black large t-shirts, but 200 cases. Those little zeros are picky sometimes. And all of a sudden they had a glut. And they had to get these things out of their warehouse. They're not making any money sitting in the warehouse. We were able to search for how many people wanted an extra large black shirt and call just those folks. Have we got a deal for you? So rather than having to send out emails or phone calls offering 20% off to everybody, they were able to call just the people that had black extra large and say, we've got a great deal just for you. Help them to clear the warehouse, help them to get money back from that, and it helped them not to lose margin on the rest of the shirts that they had. We didn't have to call the people that only wanted red. We were able to focus that way on black. Other things that you can do with Act is to recruit. If any of you are ever feeling lonely, by the way, put an ad on Craigslist saying that you're hiring. It's worked very well for me, but you get like 75 resumes in the space of 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, how do you manage all of this information? We've done a lot of work with Act databases for recruitment as well. I don't know about you, but I don't have time for typing. It's a real common Kristi phrase around the office. Life is too short for typing. If I got your name and address and phone number somewhere electronically, it would be very hard for us to retype it. So we have different add-on products that work with Act where you just highlight the resume and hit go. It'll automatically strip out the name and address and phone number, put them into the Act database for you, and attach the resume. Really conveniently, all in one place. Then all you have to do is fill out the particular details about them. So you can do that with resumes, you can do that with other things as well. I'll tell my Ruby Slipper story here for a second. You all have seen The Wizard of Oz? No? Right? Nobody's missed out on the last 50 years of U.S. pop culture. The Wizard of Oz, poor Dorothy. She's walking down this long path. Winged monkeys are popping out left and right. And at the end, some chick says, did you know you could have just clicked your shoes together? You would have been home. Even as a child, I was like, where were you, honey? I could have used you a couple of wicked witches ago. Why didn't you come out and give me this information sooner? And that's really where I feel like myself and my team play a role, is that we give you those Ruby Slippers. We help show you that you could have just clicked this, and your life would have been so much easier a long time ago. Instantly getting data into Act like that is one of those Ruby Slippers that we love to share with people. It pains me to see people take a stack of business cards and we type them in. I don't know about you, but I should be on the phone making some sales. We've got business card scanners for less than $100. Suck them straight into Act. Those of us who are geeks like me with the iPhones and the Droids and whatever like that, their applications, $2 for the iPhone, take a picture of a business card and automatically put the data into your database. Those are the kind of things that we can help you with. If I've got a salesperson that I'm paying even $10 an hour, which is a pretty cheap salesperson, if any of you would like to work for that, give me a call. It's still costing me way too much to have people type data into ACT. I need them on the phone. I need them out shaking hands. Old friend of mine told me once, Kristi, I never found any money in my desk. That was his way of saying, I got to be out there. I got to be out there meeting people, doing trade shows, working the floor. And if you have people that are spending a little too much time at their desk, let us help you. Let us help you get their ACT on the iPad. Let us help you get ACT on their Androids and their iPhones. Have them scan business cards into ACT. Don't waste the time typing. So how is ACT helping you? Sharing information among remote locations, tracking key performance indicators. We'd love to get some testimonials. If any of you have any particular insight, something you're really proud of, how you're using the ACT database, we'd love it if you'd share it with us. How else can we help you get more out of using ACT? One of the things I really enjoy doing are strategic database reviews. Just sitting down and talking with you, trying to understand what it is that you have in your data, how your business works. A lot of times people say, well, one of my challenges is salespeople put stuff into ACT, and then we hope people buy it, right? And then we got to retype that information into quickly.